Hello, dear friends. A generation of insolvent young people has been created in Spain because of job insecurity, but they are happy with a bicycle, an electric scooter, and a rented room, because the Davos Forum has told them that being poor is very ecological, while they travel in private jets. I hope and pray for a paradigm shift. Opinion piece. Trump effect. It's madness. Fear and hope. Ramps of resistance. Constitutional crisis. The battle is not over. The price of arrogance. Optimistic expectations. It's only a matter of time. They are trying to stop him. Before the tables are turned, the 11/11 portal shakes reality. Navigating the financial changes. Freedom of expression is coming. The bells of Notre Dame are ringing. Europe prepares for the gold standard. Things are about to get very interesting. Good things will happen despite skepticism. Tensions erupted in Washington on Sunday. Many women shaved their heads against Trump. Trump works with galactics, according to Michael Salla. Let's start. Donald Trump's electoral victory in the presidential elections of 2024 has had a major impact on various international and domestic spheres in the days following his election. The Trump effect refers to the significant impact of Donald Trump's policies, statements and actions have had on various aspects of the economy, politics and society at an international level. The Trump effect has created an environment of fear, hope and change in multiple areas, challenging established conventions and generating diverse reactions both nationally and internationally. Its impact has been felt in the economy, foreign policy, financial markets and social dynamics, marking a before and after in the way of doing politics and in international relations. In the economic sphere, the positive reaction of the markets indicates optimism, but it will be necessary to see how Trump's economic policies will affect the world economy in the long term. It is important to realize that these effects are occurring in the first days after Trump's electoral victory. The long-term implications of his presidency remain to be seen and will depend on the specific policies he implements once he takes office. In short, Trump's victory seems to have generated a series of optimistic reactions and expectations worldwide, ranging from international politics to domestic economics. The next few months will be crucial in determining how these initial expectations will materialize into concrete changes in international relations. The 11/11 portal shakes reality. November 11th is considered a special date because of the 11/11 portal. It marks a cosmic key designed to unlock your next level of existence. This date is considered a powerful door that can have a profound impact on an individual and universal scale. It is a code of awakening, an opportunity to raise consciousness, remove old patterns, and tune into the true path. Summary. The Trump effect after winning the election, according to Byron Donalds. The stock market reaches historic highs. Bitcoin hits record high. Names first woman as chief of staff. US companies bring production home. Last migrant caravan breaks up. Mexico discourages large caravans heading to border. New York to stop giving debit cards to illegal immigrants. Qatar agrees to evict Hamas leaders. Hamas calls for immediate end to war. Taliban calls for removal from terrorist list. Russia ready for talks with US. Putin announces he no longer sees the West as an enemy. China expresses desire for peaceful coexistence with US. Europe wants to buy US gas, not Russian. Ukraine leaders in talks with Trump. Optimism. Judy Bington. Get ready to witness the fall of the old guard and the rise of a new era of freedom, health and truth. Are you ready to break free? Trump is not just the political leader. He is the spearhead of the most critical operation in human history. He is part of a global intelligence alliance with the mission of dismantling a shadow government that controls all important events in history. According to Gasseteller, Trump's role is not just to govern but to dismantle, expose and reconstruct. Every step, every go, every carefully orchestrated event has led us to this moment. Trump is not simply returning to the White House, but is destined to usher in a new golden age. The elites sought to block his path, spin his narratives, and distract with lies and shadows. The 2024 election represented the final test. Blockchain protected, watermarked ballots ensured that every vote was counted transparently, exposing interference from the dark side. I don't mean to rain on Trump's celebratory party, but the Democrats' declaration of honoring the peaceful transition of power is pure theater, according to Mike Adams. Reactions. The bells of Notre Dame ring for the first time since the fire. Is elite suicide week coming up? Things are actually pretty quiet right now. Putin declares old world order dead. Who ordered the lockdowns? Is it wrong to tell the truth? Putin vows to punish those responsible at Nuremberg trials 2.0. According to Brandon Smith, the woke are paying the price for their arrogance. Anti-Trump social media is losing thousands of paying subscribers. Colonel Douglas McGregor predicts financial Armageddon and a crisis ahead. Netanyahu claims responsibility for pager bombing. The Constitution will be used to prosecute those guilty of crimes they accused others of. Elon Musk meeting with Ron Paul and his son Rand Paul and senators and congressional leaders to go to the exposition of things. Trump sends warning to Europe to stop X censorship and regulations against Elon Musk and to stop trying to impeach him. Steve Bannon has called for battle stations at Republican headquarters. Opponents will not give up their power. According to Marjorie Taylor Greene, illegal immigrants have taken to the streets of New York to protest deportations. The FBI reports that text messages are being sent to black people and that it appears they are trying to start a race war before the election is certified. Tensions erupt in Washington on Sunday as fences around the White House and Capitol were torn down. The Capitol is bracing for a wave of demonstrations with energetic protest and increased police presence. Free speech. According to Crystal River, the sold-out media must be held accountable. Trump's historic speech on freedom of speech. All those who participated in censorship will be jailed under existing laws. According to Space Commando, mainstream media propaganda about Trump has left some people deranged and out of touch with reality. According to Sorchafal, Trump moves to take down the deep state as Elon Musk warns that time is up for war profiteers. Do you feel like you are floating in an energetic vacuum right now? Asked the intuitive healer. This week's energy has been creating a strange sense of suspension without anchor or foundation. According to Juan Osabin, it's only a matter of time before the tables are turned and justice is served. For many, the prospect of Trump's imminent return amounts to an end of life as they know it scenario. According to Benjamin Fulford, Donald Trump is far from perfect, but he's the only alternative we have right now for the world. Trump has 1 million men at his disposal, including the military and the National Guard. According to Gold Telegraph, the world is changing in a big way. The echo chamber within the Fed must be feeling a little uncomfortable at this massive moment. Look at global trade. Things are about to get interesting. The deep state versus Trump. According to Battle for Wealth, he will begin to go on the offensive by unleashing psychological warfare activities using the media landscape to stoke fear and incite discord and racial activities. According to CGI's Lorenzo Z, disunity is the goal of the dark side, and the usual morons are falling for it. When will people realize they can end this quickly? The people have always had the power, but they have been programmed not to use. According to Dr. Naomi Wolf, in just 2 days, the drums of resistance has begun to beat. Republican Eric Swalwell encouraged his allies in X not to go quietly. This is incendiary language of resistance to the peaceful transfer of power. According to Caroline Bessette Kennedy on Telegram, this is a game of strategy. In war, you don't reveal your hand until the moment of the final blow comes. Right now, Trump holds all the cards. You need to hold the line. Keep your poker face. The storm has passed. In the end, we will see who really won. The enemy won't know what hit them until it's too late. A statement by Juan Osabin. Electoral victory proceed with caution. Some of you don't have your seatbelts buckled up. For many, the prospect of Trump's imminent return amounts to an end-of-life scenario as they know it. The stock market is roaring in anticipation of Trump's return with a bright revival of business. In his view, this is not over yet. Legal teams inside and outside the government are working feverishly at this very moment, preparing for the attempted arrest of President-elect Donald Trump for election interference and leading the so-called insurrection. Our enemy's main hope is to create civil unrest leading to civil conflict. This contest is far from over. Only one side leaves the battlefield alive. Feminism. Millions of women shave their heads to protest Trump. US Democratic women are on sex strike to punish their men for voting for Trump. They are inspired by South Korea's 4B movement, an oath to renounce men. Since the 4B movement began, the fertility rate in South Korea has fallen dramatically and is now the lowest in the industrialized world. Sex strikes are a more widespread form of protest than the 4B movement and have taken place in countries around the world, including Colombia, Kenya, Liberia, Italy, the Philippines, South Sudan, and Togo. They also have an ancient lineage. Aristophanes' comedy Lysistrata tells how Athenian women conspired to deny their men sex in order to end the Peloponnesian War. Opinions. Puffner said, The question of making the right choice has already been resolved and dissolved, and the angry and unhinged voters will soften in time. They were on the wrong train, and they will soon find out. The complexity of the banking sector and the obstacles that have been there from the beginning are not as formidable as they once were, but they still hold the axes that need to be polished. Nothing can happen until the smoke clears and the storms of opposition are dealt with. Many of the old guides are now retired or no longer interested in maintaining the status quo. They know that the original intention was for people to have these funds, and Asian societies have not changed in that regard. But they also knew that it was a carrot in front of the horse, so that all of you would wake up and see that you were being fed a continuous dose of nothing. It has been that way for many decades. I told you this was going to happen, but even with my point of view and my awareness, it was not as clear as it is now who was preventing everything from being dispersed. Do not despair. Wait, good things will happen despite your skepticism. According to Dr. Michael Salla, Trump has been working with the Federation of Wells to achieve the disclosure of extraterrestrial information. Trump wanted to go ahead and usher in a Star Trek-style future, but he was told that humankind was not yet ready for the psychological shock. First, more advanced technologies needed to be released. In his view, Trump's re-election has dealt a crushing defeat of the dark side, but it did not put an end to their plan to instigate civil conflict. However, our planet is returning to the original life timeline in which the extraterrestrial disclosure will occur, ushering in a Star Trek-style future. The seeds have already been planted through the alliance with high-tech guru Elon Musk and his support for the plan to send reusable Starship rockets to Mars in 2028. The Mars Plans is a cover for the launch of very advanced technologies, which have long been used in secret space programs, and is being planned for public disclosure to reveal the existence of visitors from the stars. Europe. Europe prepares for the gold standard. Countries outside the Eurozone, but within the European Union, it's to say, those that might one day join the Eurozone, such as Poland, Hungary, and the Czech Republic, are preparing for a gold-based monetary system and are buying volume to match their reserves to the Eurozone average. The European Union is preparing a digital wallet that it hopes to implement in 2026. It consists of a mobile application that unifies all official procedures and houses our personal documentation, passport, driver's license, but it will also be used to make payments, make doctor's appointments, or store plane tickets, among other things. According to political analyst Massimiliano Bone, Trump's return terrifies a Europe already ravaged by self-inflicted crisis. Donald Trump's first term undoubtedly generated the worst rift in relations between the US and Europe since World War II. Europe is faced with a dilemma. On the one hand, US pressure for alignment on the commercial and military front. On the other, the opportunity to diversify its economic partnerships by getting closer to China. While Germany goes from crisis to crisis, analysts fear that tariff-man Trump could be the disaster of 2025, says Fortune. Trump will test European solidarity on NATO, Ukraine and trade, predicted the New York Times. Europe's economy is already reeling from a series of largely self-inflicted economic crises, triggered in large part by energy price shocks resulting from a political decision to cut energy ties with Russia. But it is in much worse shape today to resist Trump head-on than it was in 2017 21 and 21. The European Union will face pressure from Washington to align itself with US policies, potentially limiting European strategic autonomy. At the same time, China will view Europe as a potentially more open partner than the US, strengthening its economic and diplomatic influence on the continent. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.